Welcome to Cheers. I'm your host, Avery Woods. Hi, Nia.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I just think you're so gorgeous, and I love your story.
You.
And thank you for being here, by the way, and
Oh my
coming
gosh, of
on
course.
to talk about your book.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here
Thank
and
you.
talk about my story.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And I think just your cover alone on bottom of the pyramid, you sitting on top of all of the previous dance costumes is like such a powerful message.
Thank you.
That you're embracing it and in control of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched every episode of Dance Moms, but it wasn't until I was a little bit older.
Okay.
And so I always felt like I was a very old soul motherly figure, and so you were always in my heart. Like I really just had a soft spot for you, as so many people did, millions and millions of people, because there's just a difference in the way that
Thanks.
you were treated.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I will
for
say
sure.
that so openly all day, but like I saw it. And it's also different because you were pretty much the only Black girl until
Yes.
what season?
I mean, season 7 was when Cameron Bridges came on,
Yep.
and I was so happy. She's incredible.
Yeah.
But like she came on that season, but up until then, we had some Black dancers on every now and then, but there were only like two. I think there were only like 2 or 3, and they only came for like a week,
Yeah.
maybe 3, but that was
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
That was about it.
And that's hard when you're at that age.
Mm-hmm.
You're on national television.
Yeah, the show's like literally my life. Like, yes, I
Yeah.
have some kind of life outside the show, but
Yeah.
not really. I mean, we would film like 40 weeks out of a year sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like your whole life.
That's your whole life when you're a little kid, just trying to be
Yeah.
a kid, and
Yeah.
also in a very intense, high pressure environment. That's not normal, you
No.
know? So for those that are not familiar with Dance Moms, how would you describe yourself?
Ooh, that's a great question. Okay, so for me, I would describe myself as kind of like an old soul, like you were saying. I feel like I always knew who I was, even though I went through a lot of obstacles and a lot of adversity. I still always knew who I was, even when I got knocked down. I still always had like a confidence about me. And I'm also someone who's not afraid to speak up or like fight for what's right or like, tell someone the truth. I've always been that person. I like to be real.
Yep.
I like to keep it real. But at the same time, I have like a lot of love for like the people in my life that I love, or just like people who supported me along the way, or whoever, really. Like I have like a lot of love in my heart, and I like to spread it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can sense that. And we were just watching a clip when you said you stand up for what's right, of you to Abby saying like, isn't the whole point of this to like, it was like to be kind or to be encouraging or not knock someone down.
Right.
And I would be like, a little kid standing up to a grown adult at that age
Yes.
is so telling. I remember also with your positive attitude, it didn't matter what anyone said to you, you always had such a big smile on your face. You performed to the best of your ability, and you came back every day to keep
Thank you.
going.
Yeah.
Not a lot of kids would do that at that age.
No, not a lot. And I think that's what's really interesting too, because I get a lot of people who ask me, why did you stay so long? Like, why didn't your mom take you out of this environment if it was so toxic? There's so many opinions on the show and why I was there and why I stayed. And there are literally so many reasons, and I list all of them in the book. That's part of the reason why I even wrote the book, is because it is just so layered. Like the whole thing, like you said, like a few things just then about me standing up to Abby and like speaking my truth and try to do it in like a kind, hopefully not a rude way for a kid to be, because you're a kid, you don't want to talk back.
No, you were very matter of fact, but respectful.
Yeah, and there's a lot that just goes into it. One, it's part of how I was raised,
Dr. Holly. Queen.
She's amazing. And she really just helped to keep my head on straight. Like, again, I've never been scared to kind of to stand up for what I believe in, what's right. But also with that, I had to really be careful with my words at times, but at times, especially as I got older, when I became a teenager, you know, you become a little bit more vocal and you have more opinions, and you have you have to just filter what you say just a little bit, because what would I really want to say? I probably wanted to say so much more than what I probably did, but I also recognize that, one, I'm talking to someone who's older than me, and also I being, you know, the only Black person on the show, you know, I felt like everyone was trying to get that narrative of like the angry Black woman, or like having the little Black girl be loud and rude, and like, you know, so it's just like, it was a balance of, yes, speaking up for myself, but also not showing me out of my character, because a lot of people wanted to see a reaction. They wanted to get a crazy reaction out of me, and I tried really hard not to give them that.
No, you always kept your composure and kept
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
What's your first memory of the show coming about? Like, what was that process for you?
Yeah. Well, it was only supposed to be a 6-week documentary.
Okay.
So when we first heard about it, I mean, literally, like, nothing happens in Pittsburgh. Ever.
Yeah. I was going to say, I remember it being on TV and being on the East Coast, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, because it's like...
Are you from the East Coast?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm from California, but that was the thing, is that everything happens here or in New York.
Right.
And so it was something very different.
Right. Yeah. It was something very different. Yeah. So when I saw, you know, the posters in the dance studio saying like they're gonna have like auditions and stuff for this show, you know, when I went to go ask my parents, they genuinely were like, this isn't real, like that just doesn't happen in Pittsburgh, like that's a scam. But once they like actually saw it at the dance studio, they were like, okay, it sounds legitimate, maybe we can think about it. And it took me a while to actually get them to come around to auditioning, but we really didn't think anything of it, genuinely. My mom, even after the audition, after the interview that we had with the producer in the car, was just like, Nia, like, I'm just gonna be real with you, like, this probably isn't gonna happen, so don't get your hopes up, because this kind of thing just doesn't really happen, and we're just like way too boring. And I read about that whole experience, about like how excited, how kind of like not nervous, but like unsure of the whole thing. So that's kind of how it came about. I was 9. Yeah, I was like 9 at the time, so I didn't really know what to expect either. My parents know nothing about the entertainment world and industry, so they were just kind of like taking my lead on the whole thing.
It's crazy because my son turned 7 on Halloween.
Yeah.
And so thinking about him just 2 years older being on a show like that as a parent makes me so nervous.
Right.
But also, when kids get to a certain age, you want to respect what they love and what they love to do.
Right.
And so it's a hard balance. And
it
also,
is.
Obviously, who's going to expect this show with little kids dancing to be this like worldwide phenomenon for years and years, still to this day, you know?
Genuinely. I mean, my parents did not think anything of it. I think that's probably why they were like, yeah, sure, we'll try this out, because they would have never expected all of this to come about, especially, you know, from a 9-year-old. And, you know, my parents were kind of like taking my lead, which I know sounds kind of crazy because it's like I'm 9 years old. But again, like, I loved to dance.
It was your passion.
It was my passion. Yeah. And my parents, like, they were so supportive of like me and my siblings, like of our paths and like what we wanted to do. They were so supportive all the time. So this was just like something that they were like, yeah, we'll let you spread your wings and try this out. And it wasn't them forcing me at all. I was the one kind of like,
you want to be a part of it.
Forcing them.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you mentioned how you guys thought it would be really boring and nothing would happen, but it got picked up. It became huge. Do you think it's because, well, actually, I don't even know. were they wanting or trying to create certain conflict to be more interesting? I know that they edit reality TV in
Yeah,
so many ways that it's like
of
so
course. I
not what
mean,
happened.
yeah.
But was that something that was happening because it went quickly from focusing on the dancers to the moms?
Right. I think I honestly couldn't tell you what the producers really exactly wanted from the show at first. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was just the dynamic of it all, just the dynamic between the moms with the other moms and the moms between the girls. And I think like lightly touching on like all of our relationships with our dance teacher as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, I think it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
It was like a it came about in such a weird way. And again, when you think of our, or I guess like reality in general, you think of it as having, like a lot of editing, a lot of things that are cut out, which is true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
But we genuinely had a very dysfunctional cast. Like they hit the jackpot with
Well,
us.
also
Like
the environment in general was that off camera, was Abby the same as a dance teacher
they
off camera
had
than on
to
camera?
I always say that they made her likable for TV.
Likeable.
Likable. Yes. That's what I say. Because her teaching style is very different, and then
Mm-hmm.
also because I dealt with like a lot of other things aside from just like her regular teaching as well. Like some of the comments that she would make towards me, about my hair, about my body, like are very much like racially charged, so that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say definitely likable for TV. They definitely had to edit some of her stuff out. A lot of the times there were a lot of things that happened to me on the show as well
Mm-hmm.
that were edited out. There's even experience, which I won't get into too much here, but like in the book, where um it was a big deal. Something had happened and like they completely cut it out from the show and made me look very weak, I would say. But people had no idea what went on behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
yeah. So they kind of just like hit the jackpot with the cast because they were so dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
And like the drama runs so deep.
Yeah.
Like even before the show started,
Mm-hmm.
there had been so much drama at the studio that I wasn't really involved in.
So there was something that I saw regarding the way you were being treated on
Mm-hmm.
Dance Moms, which I think everyone saw, whether it was cut or not. There was
Right.
like a very obvious shift with the way you were treated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the comments really bothered me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was regarding your mom, Holly.
Yeah.
And first of all, as a mom, I completely empathize with her respecting your decision to want to dance, want to be part of the show, want to be with your
Mm-hmm.
friends, whatever reason you had for being there.
Yeah.
But one of the comments was, I don't understand, or it's your mom's fault that she didn't take you out of a
Mm-hmm.
toxic environment.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that? Because I
Yeah.
know that she's a good mom.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, not many comments faze me. That comment always upsets me. That's why like sometimes I genuinely cannot look
Oh, I don't look
at
at any of
my
my comments anymore.
comments.
You just
You
can't.
just can't.
Yeah, you
You just
can't.
can't. But that's one that truly bothers me.
Hmm.
Truly bothers me because my mom is a great mom. And I would never classify her as a bad mom or even really like putting me in that toxic environment because that wasn't her fault.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
let's like not blame the people that were actually like just there to learn, there to kind of have a good time. Let's blame the people that actually like made the environment toxic.
Also, she stood her ground and she
And she
defended her
always
baby.
protected me. And she
Always.
always protected me. So I'm like, when people say that, it's very, very hurtful to me because they're like, well, she was the adult and she should have taken her out of that toxic environment. And one, there were contracts. People always, I'm like, there were contracts, and people are like, well, people left. It takes a long time and it takes like a lot of resources. It's like
Money.
it's a
Yep.
whole thing. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to work in the future. I don't want to be labeled as difficult to work with. I also, wanted to stay because I felt like I had a point to prove, not just to my dance teacher, but to myself. But also, I enjoyed performing every weekend. I love that. I love the stage. I'm not going to necessarily get that anywhere else. Like, I loved traveling. I liked that part and that aspect of it. And then also to that comment, people will say things, but it's like, you weren't in that situation, so you don't know how you would react. You don't know what you would do in that situation.
You also see such a tiny sliver of what's actually going on, both on and off camera, because of edits.
Exactly. And you know what? Another point, I would say I'm pretty well adjusted. Like, yes, I went through all of that, but because I have such a great mom, because I have such an amazing support system and family, I was able to come out of that being okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to come out of that and be happy and be successful and be able to do amazing things, you know? And I think that says a lot about her character as a mother.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that comment to me is very hurtful because there's a lot that goes into it, and I hate that people would even consider my mom to be a bad mom because they think that it's her fault that they don't think it's her fault, but because she didn't take me out of that. But it's so layered.
It's so easy for a keyboard warrior, though, to just throw whatever out.
Also that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What gave you the courage to write your memoir? What point were you at that you were like, you know, I really want to tell my story my way?
I was a junior in college. Well, actually, I always wanted to write about my experience on Dance Moms. That had always been the plan. And after the show had ended, I was actually looking into writing a book, like pretty much like a year or so after, because I was very upset. That was a time where I did have a hard time adjusting a little bit after the show, because I had been on the show for the past 7 years, and I was in a place where I'm like, I have to get this out there. I felt like I needed to say something then. So happy I didn't. I would have regretted the things that I would have said.
Like out of anger?
Out of anger.
Okay.
And now that I've had time to reflect and time to really have other experiences outside of Dance Moms, I've been able to collect all of these emotions and collect all of these experiences that I had, and I have a better understanding of what actually went down, and I can actually articulate how I'm feeling, how things went, and how I went about it. Because the thing about the book was, I didn't want it to be a sob story. I'm not trying to win the oppression Olympics. I'm not doing that. I know some people just they want to say well, my experience was worse. I don't care. Everyone's stories matter. You know, everyone's experience matters. Just like mine, you know, and I just wanted the space to tell my story. So as I was writing this, or for a while, it was hard for me to consider writing this book, because for me, I didn't want to ruffle feathers. I don't like drama.
Yeah.
I don't really like drama. I like to stay out of it.
I can tell.
Yeah.
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 You really do stay away from all of
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
I try my best because it's not the healthiest. But at a certain point, I'm not here to protect people. You know, I'm not here to erase my story. I'm not trying to filter my story. I'm I simply deserve to tell my side of things.
Yeah, you do.
Because along the way, my narrative, you know, became tainted. And I literally titled my book Bottom of the Pyramid. And I feel like, one, baby Nia, 9-year-old Nia, deserves for her truth to be told, even after all these years. And I also feel like a lot of people have felt the same way I have as well. You know, I have a very unique experience, but at the same time, a lot of a lot of people have had similar things happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially like being Black in like white spaces. I feel like a lot of people have been there, and to have a story that kind of reflects their experience could help them, could know, for them to know that they're not the only ones, to keep going and things always get better.
Yeah. So my daughter Stevie's been in dance since she was 23 months and
Okay.
she's 4.
Wow.
And I think about her in the future, even just a few years down the road,
Mm-hmm.
being 9 years old and being ranked like that.
Yeah.
I would probably go to jail because I would be getting aggressive. Like,
Yes.
I just don't think that that is good for a young girl with a developing mind that already struggles. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I am so aware of the way I speak to myself,
Mm-hmm.
of my daughter doing affirmations in the morning. I will make sure I don't even put her in clothes I know will be too small because I'm so conscious of
Right.
like my body image issues I had growing up, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want her to ever think that she's too big or looks the way she shouldn't look or
Mm-hmm.
is the worst dancer in her class because
Right.
she's ranked last.
Yeah.
What did that do to you? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
did that affect you in your mind developing as you're growing up and becoming a young woman?
Yeah. It definitely had its effects on me, and they show up in different ways. Like, for me, I felt like I probably had some body dysmorphia growing up, always feeling like I was the biggest one there. Um, and, also I feel like just as a dancer, as dancers, we're in tune with our bodies, but we're also very hard on ourselves in
Mm-hmm.
our appearance because we're looking in the mirror all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And you're wearing very like form-fitting,
Exactly.
exposing costumes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So you feel very vulnerable a lot of the times. So I feel like a lot of people who have even grown up in dance or like in a sport can kind of relate to that in a certain way. But for me, I feel like it's gonna go back to my mom, but because she kind of took on that role of being that person to tell me affirmations,
Mm-hmm.
to tell me like, Nia, you look gorgeous, like don't listen to those other people, like you're not too big, you're meant to be there, you're beautiful. And having someone to constantly remind me of that, super helpful. But I did feel exposed a lot of the time, especially when I got older, especially when I went through puberty and then
Mm-hmm.
was a teenager on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then my appearance and my body was literally being talked about on like a not even national, like a global like globally. it's it's scary. I would say it's definitely scary.
For
For
such a young
for
girl
just a young
too.
girl, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I was 9 when I started, but I was almost 16 when we like filmed like the last episode, and I was 16 once the episode came out. That's those are literally your developing years.
They're so important.
They're
They're so important.
they're so
And
important,
it's so hard
and
going
it's
through
taken a long
puberty
time.
and getting curves and starting your
Yes,
period. Like,
yes,
those are all things that you're experiencing off camera and already self-conscious of. And then
yes.
when everyone's pointing it out to you, like, I can't even
Mm-hmm.
imagine how much that would affect
And
you.
then when it's not just the people on set, like it's not just cast members making comments about my body and my appearance, but then we have people online watching the show on the internet talking about my appearance as well. Like, I remember when I started like getting boobs and stuff, like people genuinely were so rude about it online. Like when I started gaining a little bit more weight because I'm no longer 9 years old,
Yeah.
people would be like, you've gained so much weight. I was like, well, I sure hope so. Because
Yeah.
I'm not 9 anymore. I'm
Haven't we all?
15.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to look the same way as when I was 9 years
Yeah,
old.
you can't control how big your boobs are
No,
getting when you're going through puberty.
exactly. And it's like we're working out so much too. It's like this, even the weight that you're even talking about, I'm like, this is a muscle. Like I'm just working out, and so people had things to say about my appearance all the time, on and off camera, online, and it definitely at a certain point caught up to me because it was a lot. It was a lot and extremely hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And I would cover up a lot, especially like in the later seasons. You can see me. I wore like a lot of leggings or tank tops. Like I would always try my best to kind of like cover up my body a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
as I got older because it was just like so much. So that was like the one thing I could control. So I was like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and cover up a little bit. But yeah, it didn't really matter. Didn't really help
Yeah.
much with the criticisms.
Well, you're beautiful. You've always been
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
And
you. I'm in a good place now
yeah.
with
And
my body and how I feel about myself.
yeah, and you had a good support system at home
Oh, for
that
sure.
reassured you, and
Mhm.
so I'm happy for you that you were able to get past that because it's awful.
Thank you.
Do you still dance?
Oh, that's a great question.
Or is it like
So
a fun wedding rare occasion type thing?
I do still dance actually. Well, it's been a minute since I've danced now just because of scheduling and life.
She's busy. She's a memoir.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I have books to sell.
Yeah.
Um
She's like, we're gonna be a New York Times bestseller. What are you talking
you
about?
know,
I'm
like
busy.
yeah, we've got goals. We've
Yeah,
got
we're
goals.
booked and busy.
But I danced all throughout college.
Did you? Where'd
Yeah.
you go to college?
I went to UCLA.
Period. See, she's got beauty and brains.
Thank you.
Like that is a hard school to get into.
Yes, I
That's
know.
incredible. Good for
I was
you.
shocked when I saw the acceptance email. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
It's amazing. What did you study?
American literature and culture.
Dude, you just get cooler and cooler. I'm telling you. Like
So-
you got it all. Good for you.
That's why also in my junior year of college, I was like, I think I'm ready to write my book because not only have I done like reflection about my life, but I also know how to write pretty well now.
Mhm.
And I felt confident in my abilities to actually sit down and write out my feelings.
I love that.
Um
Because a lot of people get ghostwriters nowadays.
yeah,
That's like a very
And-
common thing.
being able to like be like like a true part of my book and feel like I actually wrote the book. Like I have read this book 10 million times, like editing, changing, picking what parts I should leave in and take out. It's taken so much time. And the fact that anyway, I'm getting off subject. But yes. So I went to UCLA, American literature, but at UCLA they had a dance club that I
Okay.
found and loved it.
That's so
I
cool.
absolutely loved it.
Okay.
It was so healing for me. And I even got to choreograph dances for
That's
the
so
team.
cool.
And we performed at like school events. So we would perform at like basketball games. If they had like any fun or like we had something called like First Thursday. Yeah, First Thursdays, where it's like the first Thursday of every month they would have like something fun in Westwood and we performed at that event. So there were certain events that we had at UCLA where we would perform as well, which was so cool, so much fun. Took a lot of pressure off of dance as well, and I learned to just really fall in love with it again. So I do still dance, but it's more just for fun now. It's always going to be a part of me.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to absolutely come in handy one day for all the other ventures I go about. But yeah, I'm pretty content with it. I don't really post myself dancing that much anymore just because like social media is so cruel and
Girl.
every now and then you might, but I like to keep that little bit to myself.
Yeah.
At least for now.
And I can imagine that dance club you did in college was probably so healing because it was actually enjoyable and
It
there was no
was.
pressure.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. And the dancers too in the club were so like they were so good.
Oh,
So
I
being
love
able
that.
to dance with good dancers, because yes, it's a dance club and all of us are just like doing this for fun, but all
Mhm.
of us kind of had a similar upbringing in dance where it's like a lot of us did competition dance or just dance really like full time when we were younger. So having that outlet, especially in school, was like it was amazing. So
Yeah.
good.
When you were writing your memoir, did you go back and rewatch some
Yeah.
of the seasons
Yeah,
and
I did.
episodes?
I did.
What was that experience like for you?
It was really hard sometimes. Like there were a lot of moments where I wanted to cry because watching I never really understood, I would say, when people were like, no, like, you said you felt like maternal towards.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I was like about to jump through that TV screen, girl. And I was like
yes.
a teenager.
Yes. And I was like, I never really fully understood
Hmm.
that when people would tell me, they're like, no, like, we feel maternal about you, Nia. And like, when we would see certain things happen, like, I was crying during this part that Abby was yelling at Nia, or when she forgot her solo, you know? And I watched some of these moments back. And I got teary-eyed, and I was like, "Oh, I see what people are talking about now." Because in the moment, um, there's a lot of emotions, and even after, because I didn't watch the show. Um,
When it was live, like when it was
yeah,
happening.
no,
Okay.
no, maybe like the first season, or maybe like the first couple episodes of the first season, and I would catch things here and there. We were at dance most of the time when the show was even on.
Yeah. And
So,
school on top of it.
yeah, and school, so it's like we didn't have time to watch the show.
Hmm.
But even if we wanted to, like, I'm not just sitting down and watching all of this, because I get too angry and agitated. Like, I'm not. But when I would look back at some of those moments, I would get really emotional, because I didn't realize, like, how upsetting that really was,
Hmm.
until I kind of took a second to look at it through my adult lens, my adult point of view, and watching, like, me at 9 years old. And also, it doesn't feel like me. Like, I know it's me, but it also does not feel like me. I feel like this is like someone else,
Yeah.
And I'm even like rooting for myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
When you watch it
it's-
back, do you remember that stuff vividly or do you like have it blacked out?
yes and
Because it's so
no.
traumatic.
Yes and no. Okay. I get asked this. They're like, do you remember things, or do you black out a lot of it?
Yeah.
But I think a lot personally, I think a lot for me specifically, when I don't remember things, I think it's less about it being traumatic and more just I was 9.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember anything when I was 9.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, like, I just don't remember like a lot of things from when I was like younger. I don't necessarily think that's because of the trauma. Could be. Not saying it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like, I think I also was just really young, and you're just
Hmm.
not going to remember everything. So, yes and no to that question. Sometimes I like remember things vividly. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when that happened. And then I'm like, oh, and they didn't show that clip of someone saying X, Y, and Z, or like, oh, they only showed this part of that. I didn't know they showed it like that. I didn't know they played it out like that. Or they'll change the song in the title to the dance that we did. Like, they'll dub it over with something. I'm like, oh, that was not the song to that. It's very
Interesting.
like kind of trippy sometimes, because they're like, wait a minute, that's not how I remember it.
Interesting.
But sometimes I genuinely do not remember certain things happening. Um and that's also very interesting when when people tag me in videos, and I'll say something. I think there was something I said in an interview. In the interviews, like the testimonials we would do,
Hmm.
where you're just like talking to the
Hmm.
camera. Um, and I said something about like another dancer, and I was like, yeah, I can do like jazz, hip hop, tap. And what can the other girl do? Acro. And I was like, I don't remember that. And I don't remember.
You said, and what can she do?
Yeah. And I'm like, one, like, crazy, like, okay. But two, and that's the thing, like, now I'm like, I can own up to things, and I can laugh about
Yeah.
things, like, because guess what? It's out for the world to see.
Yeah.
Like, I could laugh about things, but it's also like, I don't remember that.
It's so funny. I feel
Like,
like my daughter would say something like that. She's so
I'm like,
sassy.
I don't remember that. So yeah, sometimes it's like an emotional roller coaster, and sometimes I feel like I'm finding out new things
Yeah.
that happened.
What's a positive memory you have with your former castmates? Like, what's something good that you remember from the show?
Oh, I feel like there is a lot of good that I remember from the show. I mean, unfortunately, the bad did outweigh the good
Yeah.
in the end, but we did have like a lot of special moments. Like, before competition, like the night before competitions, we would hang out in one of our hotel rooms and play games, watch TV, make like those little like rainbow loom bracelets. Like we would do a lot of fun things together.
Being normal little
Being
kids.
normal little
Yeah.
kids. We loved to like go get ice cream
Mm-hmm.
and get our nails done. Occasionally we had to get like clear polish because we weren't allowed to have like actual like color nail polish on. But like we would do things together that were so sweet. And like as we got older, we'd go shopping together, we'd go out to eat, we'd go to the movies. Like we did normal kid stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's something that I really appreciate the moms doing for us. They always made sure that we could still like act like kids
Mm-hmm.
when we weren't on set, which was really nice.
And what's the relationship now with your previous castmates?
I'm friends with a lot of them still.
Because you
Yeah.
weren't on the reunion.
No, I wasn't.
I watched the
Yeah.
reunion.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very interesting because, by the way, fully respect you not being there and
Thank
like
you.
not choosing to be there. If you don't want to be in an environment that
I mean, we wouldn't be able to have like this type of conversation.
Yeah. Well, and also you respected your own boundaries.
Yeah.
If that's a boundary you had,
Mhm.
then that's okay.
Mhm.
And like I'm in this stage of life too where I'm like, I have to protect my peace.
You
And
have
like
to.
you protected your peace at such
Mhm.
a young age. That was like what, 4 years ago or something?
Oh my gosh.
It was a while ago.
It was a bit ago. Maybe I think it was like maybe like 3 though.
3?
Maybe
Okay.
3-ish.
And I
That's
remember
crazy.
a conversation kind of being mentioned though about certain people that weren't present
Mhm.
and how they said, you know, you people that weren't present using the Dance Moms business as part of their brand, but then
Yeah.
not showing up to the reunion.
Mhm.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think everyone has used Dance Moms as part of their brand. And
I
if
also think
anyone
everyone
deserves to, I feel like it's me because I stayed 7 seasons.
also, I think you made that choice.
Yeah.
And you had a completely different experience than the people that were on the reunion. And that's
Exactly.
okay. And everyone's experience is validated and or
Exactly.
valid.
Yes.
But I think that you chose peace.
Yeah.
I think that you wanted to tell your story in a different way and on your own.
Yeah, I wanted
hence
to
bottom of the
tell it
pyramid.
on my own terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm allowed to do that. I'm not contracted to do
Absolutely.
that anymore.
I absolutely
like,
agree.
And that's so and we are like I'm like years removed from the show too. Like some of the girls who did the reunion actually well I'm the one who stayed like you know like the whole term
Mm-hmm.
of the thing of the show but I know some of the girls like they hadn't had as much time on the show.
Yeah.
So for them they're not going to maybe feel like it's still too soon or that you know like they just haven't gone through the same things at the end of the day.
No.
And that's okay. And if they want to tell their story that way, that's amazing. Like good for them. I don't know why everyone's so worried about me like that. I don't understand.
You keep your head down and mind your business.
Yeah, I'm
and
like I'm
that's
just trying to
okay.
mind my business. I didn't need like that kind of energy, especially like I was in my senior year of college. I was like I just don't need this energy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean yeah, that's another point that I bring up in the book about the reunion show and being asked to do it. And yeah, I could not bring myself to do it. And to anyone who was saying like, well, you're still using the dance. I never said I wasn't going to talk about Dance Moms. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not ashamed of where I came from, where I got my start. I'm not ashamed of Dance Moms either. And people are like, well, she's never really, she doesn't talk about Dance Moms, but now she's yes, because now I'm ready to talk about it.
It was a huge part of the majority of your childhood. And then you went to college and became a woman and had some time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very mature, healing thing to be
Mm-hmm.
able to recollect
Mm-hmm.
your memory and what happened. Like you said before, you would have regretted speaking out about it earlier, which I
Yeah.
think was such a mature, smart decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
You gathered your thoughts, you grew up,
Mm-hmm.
and now the time is right.
Exactly. And also, like, I would have no control over the edits either. And I went through 7 years of that, and I just couldn't bring myself to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure, making sure you say the right things. And even if you did say the right things, they can still edit it in a way that doesn't make you look great.
Mm-hmm. Were you getting any backlash from production about not being there?
I wasn't getting backlash. I think that they just wanted me there, which,
Mm-hmm.
it's always nice to be wanted.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
nice that they offered me to be a part of it. I'm always grateful for the show. I mean, that's how I'm even like in the position where I am today.
Yeah.
Like I'm not bashing the show at all. Like I think that's because I've seen a couple comments recently saying like, well, she should be grateful about like where she came. I'm like, I've never said that I wasn't grateful. And it's like, and that's the thing. I've never said that I regret doing the show or that I don't respect where I came from, because that has nothing to do with it. I've just like lived a lot of life, and I'm now at a place where I can make these decisions as an adult and like see things clearly, because I'm an adult now and I'm not a kid anymore, and I know what's good for me and what's not good for me. And having those boundaries, which I'm still working on, because always going to be a work in progress. But yeah, I think that's something that I think sometimes people misconstrue or don't fully understand. They think that me writing this book is to just bash on dance moms and cast members, and that's not it at all.
It's your story.
It's simply my story.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply my story.
Yeah. Do you, when they do reruns or play on streaming networks, do you get a chunk of that?
No, we don't get residuals.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We don't get I know like a lot of people probably think that, like,
I was gonna say
I talk about that in the book as well, about like
Oh.
how much we were getting paid. Yeah, I talk about that because that seems to be something that people don't really fully understand. I remember seeing comments like, well, she's probably rich from all that Dance Moms money. Honey, that Dance Moms, we were not there for the money. Let me just tell you that.
Wow.
There was not. I mean, I was still a child working, so we got some kind of compensation, which for a child making any kind of compensation is like really cool.
Yeah.
But it was not.
Did you have access to that money when you were 18?
Only like, yeah, you only have access to like a certain amount, and then it gets put up into a Coogan account. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Let's just say when I saw that Coogan account when I was 18, I was like, that's it?
You were like, for 7 years
like,
of hell, 7 years of hell, and I get that, and I have to go to UCLA and pay that tuition?
Like, I genuinely, like, I'm so grateful for my agents, but like they had me working in college so that I could pay for college without any debt, and I'm so grateful to them.
That's amazing.
That they kept me working, and that's honestly one of my biggest achievements, is that I put myself through college and didn't have to put that strain on my parents. Like, that is like one of my like biggest like goals that I ever accomplished.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, huge deal. And also, I know people in college right now, especially at those big schools.
Yes.
Shit is expensive.
Yeah, college is so expensive. But college was the best purchase I have ever made.
Absolutely. You can never, no one can ever take back your education from you.
That's what my mom always said. She was like, no one can take your education from you.
It's funny because I was a nurse for a lot of years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I still have an active license. And I'm like, people can say whatever shit they want that I'm an influencer or podcast host, but I'm like, you can never take my degree away from me.
Can never take that away.
You can never take my work experience away from me. You can never take my knowledge away from me. And a lot of people nowadays are like, it's just a piece of paper.
It's not just a piece of
paper. 4 years of like such hard work and dedication.
Yes.
And the fact that you came from TV, had an account set up, and had a social media following, you didn't have to go to college. You chose to go to college.
Yeah, definitely did not have to go to college, but it was a decision that I made for myself, and it was something I had always dreamed of doing. And I'm so happy that I went. I loved my experience. College was definitely for me, and I learned so much about myself in school that it's just helped me so much with just life in general.
Yeah.
And adjusting.
You should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Like 24,
Thank
carrying
you.
yourself the way that you have, and also putting yourself through school. That's incredible.
Thank you.
I love the cover of Bottom of the Pyramid, you sitting on top
Thank
of all those
you.
dance costumes. What was the worst dance costume that you wore?
Oh my gosh, there were a lot. I don't think I there were a lot.
They looked so itchy.
Yeah, some of them really were itchy.
All
Genuinely.
the sequins and stuff. I said,
Yeah,
if a bra's
it
too
had
tight on me,
sequins,
I'm like, nah.
If it had sequins, I mean, honestly, I would have loved some more dance costumes with some sequins. Usually I've dressed up as a clown probably like a couple times. I've dressed up as a dog. I've dressed up as, I don't even know what it was, but like I had like a blue unitard on and like this crazy mask. Oh my gosh. Like I couldn't even name the amount of like really, really like not cute costumes I wore. But I could count probably the pretty ones because I didn't get many of
and
those.
Doing it for so many years too.
I was like I know like people are like, well, like your mental health and all these things that came with the show. And like, yes, but for me at that time, the things that I was like most concerned about was like, oh my gosh, I have to wear a clown costume this weekend. You just have to laugh sometimes.
Sometimes you just have to laugh so you don't cry. What's been the most unexpected project that you've gotten, aside from writing your incredible book, out of coming from Dance Moms?
Oh my gosh. There's been so many. One of the things that I don't necessarily think it it didn't come directly from Dance Moms, but because I was on a show for so long, I have gained an amazing platform where I have people who follow me and kind of care what I have to say, which is incredible.
It's a very powerful thing.
It's a very powerful thing. But that would probably be like working with like the Biden-Harris administration. Yeah. That would be like probably one of the coolest and probably one of the most unexpected things that has happened post Dance Moms. I would have never thought that I would be able to do something like that.
You're like, I'm sorry, the White House, like the government, it's actually insane how much our world is shifting.
Really,
from
it really
this
is.
Celebrity status to social media and how impactful your words are.
Yes, yeah, it's super impactful. So using my social media to, I guess, like talk about issues that really like matter to me and issues, in my opinion, I don't even think it's just my opinion, but things that aren't like, they're not radical, they're not crazy like things. It's just like basic human rights, in my opinion. Yeah. So like standing up for what's right and like using my platform for good, you know, and being able to give back in that sort of way has been really fulfilling for me. I've learned so much. And it's very inspiring to be around public figures and world leaders like that. It's very surreal to be able to be sitting at a table with the VP. Yeah. On like a couple different occasions. Yeah. You know, like incredible. It's really amazing to be able to do that sort of stuff. But then also just like on the entertainment side, like I've been able to do a lot of really cool things. I've directed and produced my own shows, cool. Which has been really awesome. I've been able to do quite a few acting projects as well. Like I did a Lifetime movie like my freshman year of college. Okay. Yeah. And then since then I've I don't know. Like I've done like things here and there. I made a cameo in Mean Girls, the new Mean Girls.
So cool.
I did an off-Broadway show. That was like my last season of Dance Moms, I think. I did an off-Broadway show. So I've done a lot of great things because I was on a show for so long and been able to um like grow a following and grow a community. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's been amazing. Just like the things that I've been asked to do and the brands I've even been able to work with. It's been amazing. And
Yeah.
I truly like am honored that people like want to work with me and are excited to work with me, because also for so long I was told that no one was going to want to work with me, that I wasn't what people wanted to see, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So being able to like live this way and live my truth has been very healing and super rewarding.
And you have proved those people wrong that doubted you just
Yeah.
by showing up and giving it your all because you have work ethic and drive
Yeah,
and you're amazing
exactly.
at what you do.
Thank you. And I'm 24. Like this is just the beginning. So we'll see
Yes. Yes.
what else happens.
What is a story from the book that your closest people in your life, friends, family, were the most surprised about?
Ooh. Well, I feel like a lot of people have heard me talk about most of the things I've said in the book, because I will talk about certain things that have happened on the show with like family and friends. Like
It's part of your
it's
story.
part of my story. I've
Yeah.
never been like shy to talk about how things went down. It's more just like publicly. Um Trying to just think of like something that like friends and family were surprised to see. I don't necessarily know if this doesn't necessarily answer the question, but something that I know like people reading, like readers will be surprised
Mm-hmm.
um to read about in the book is my relationship with my family, especially during the show, because
Mm-hmm.
I have two other brothers, I have a dad, my parents are still married, and we spent a lot of time away from home, and I took my mom away from my brothers for a really long time, and how that affected me, how that affected our family.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to talk about that, talk about um not just like my immediate family, but even like my grandparents, and how, like in the impact they made on my life and how much they've done for me and my family like during the years, because both my parents had very demanding jobs, and being able to like honor my grandparents with everything that they did to help me with my career even at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it truly like took a village.
Yeah, I was gonna say it takes a
Yeah.
village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly took a village to like get everything, make sure everyone got to where they needed to be. Everyone, like was accounted for and taken care of. So yeah, it was a lot of juggling and being able to kind of share that aspect,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, I think people just assume it's my mom and I.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like I have a dad, I have two
Yeah.
brothers,
That's
like
amazing.
yeah.
That's
So
so
being able
cool.
to talk about that has been
Yeah.
really good, and I think will surprise a lot of people.
What is something that you wish that readers take away after reading the book?
Oh, I hope that they take away that they're important no matter what. I think I tried really hard with this book to make sure that although it's not necessarily like a hard read, there are some things in the book that are serious and that are deep and kind of sad, And I wanted to make sure that people knew that no matter like what they go through, that they will be okay, and that no matter what anybody says about them, or like, people, there's always going to be people who are going to try and bring you down. Like there's always going to be Abbeys in the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
there just are. And like, sorry, just going back to our comment earlier about, why did you stay so long? It's like, well, if it wasn't this, it's going to be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just how life is. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be people that are going to try and bring you down. Um, but at the end of the day, you have to remember to keep going, and you have to remember to know your worth, and that just because someone's telling you something and they're trying to get in your head, that they don't dictate your life and your future. You know, they don't get to dictate what you do with your life. And I want people to know that, like, just because other people might not deem them as successful, that they absolutely can be and are. I still have people saying that, like, I'm not successful and I'm not doing X, Y, and Z, but it's like I'm doing a lot. I'm proud of who I am. I would classify myself as successful, you know, and that's what really matters. You know,
you're not commenting to other people negative things like that.
Exactly.
So there's also a difference in happiness and fulfillment.
Exactly.
And you're making your dreams come true, and you're healing your inner child because so much was taken away from you so young.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a huge accomplishment in itself.
A huge accomplishment. And everyone's journey looks different. Everyone's paths look different. And you are the only one who truly gets to define success for yourself. So if you feel like what you're doing is impactful, it's true to yourself, it's making you a better human, then that's success. Then that's all you need.
Yeah.
The other people talking in your ear, like, they can, like,
it's noise.
It's noise.
It's noise.
Simply noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could go back and tell little Nia one thing after watching some of those things back, what would you tell her?
I would give her a big hug, first of all. But then I would also just tell her, like, everything is going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay.
It's hard to know at that age.
It's hard to know at that age. And it's so funny. Like, I've always been, like, a confident person. And I feel like little Nia and, like, me now, we're very similar now. But I feel like the Nia in the middle, kind of like teenage years, is probably the one who I'd be like, you got this, girl.
Yeah.
You got this, girl.
Yeah.
Because seriously, like, 9-year-old Nia was so optimistic and, like, had so much, like, pep and joy. And, like, I feel like that Nia again, which it took a long time to kind of get back.
I can
there.
tell you're so happy and bubbly.
Yeah.
And, like, you just have, like, the positive energy and light.
Yes. Yeah. And I've always been that way. And, you know, like, little by little, like, that light did get dimmed, you know, throughout the seasons. And but, like, it took time. Yeah. But I'm back, you know.
She's back
and better than ever.
Okay, let's end with rapid fire. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Products you can't live without.
Ooh, Kiehl's Ultra Barrier Face Cream.
That stuff is so good. I had a makeup artist use that on me, and I was like, girl, what is that? And I immediately ordered it from Sephora.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. It's just
so
such,
okay.
So good.
Go-to coffee or tea order?
Oh my gosh. Well, my go-to coffee order is genuinely just, like, an iced vanilla latte.
Isn't it all for us?
With oat milk.
That's exactly what I get.
We're
such
dairy free
bitches.
though. I just
it makes you feel better.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes I'm like,
because I'm not really a milk person.
I'm like, can I get with almond milk? And I, like, genuinely don't enjoy it, but I'm like, that's so healthy of me. I'm like, why don't I just get something I actually like?
No, literally.
Okay, guilty pleasure show that you love.
Oh, random Flavor of Love.
Flavor Flav! Way iconic. Wait.
Me and my best friend watch that in our free time. And it's so, because I don't really watch reality unless it's, like, Dancing with the Stars or, like, you know, something along those lines. But it's something about that show that just draws me in.
God, I remember when that show, like, first came out, and his, like, huge clocks.
The huge clocks, like, and then he would give the clocks to the
Flavor Flav. Iconic.
Wild show.
Okay, a song you can't listen to anymore because of dance.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of them. Okay, wait. I know this is rapid fire. I'm just trying to think.
No, you're fine.
Oh, maybe, like, Off With Your Head.
Oh,
dance. Because every single dance studio has had a dance to that song. I think we need to retire it. Even though it's a great song, I can't listen to it.
Makes your ears bleed now.
Yeah.
Dream vacation destination.
Ooh, that's a great one because I love to travel.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know, like, where you haven't been and you want to go.
Okay, dream vacation destination. Probably Bali.
Bali. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
That's a really good choice.
I always see beautiful pictures of it.
Yeah.
And I would like to go there one day.
After your book tour press is done, go to Bali.
Maybe that's the first place I head.
You deserve it, girl.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
You were such a joy and such a light, and I feel like just the era that you're in, you can just tell you exude happiness and sunshine, and your parents should be so proud of you.
Thank you.
And what you're doing.
Gosh, my parents.
Tell Dr. Holly I said hi.
I will.
You're an educated queen and an icon. We love you.
Thanks, Avery. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, of course. Anytime.
It's so great.
Best of luck. Where can people find you, follow you, and get your book?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me at Nia Sioux on all of my platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can buy my book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Yay. Look how gorgeous
all the bookstores.
Look how gorgeous this is. Do you see this, everyone?
Guys,
Queen.
It's my life.
Queen. Okay. Thank you for being here. Cheers.